Surrounded by. I am surrounded by.
I'm often surrounded by.
The entire system is surrounded by
Freaking idiots.
Surrounded by them.
idiots.
What's good, man? How you feeling?
Oh, man. I'm feeling good, man. So happy to be here.
Good day so far?
Different day. It's a different day. We gonna keep it all the way real, you know what I mean? It's a different day.
Well, listen, man, I wanted to have you on the podcast because we ran into each other. Where was it? Zara?
Yeah, Zara,
most recently.
Beverly Center.
And yeah, we had a good conversation. It was short,
Yeah.
but it was brief, but it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have you on, man, discuss, like, first off, reading up on interviewing you, I'm like, wait, he wrote 3 books? So we got to dive into that. I know you did motivational speaking.
Yeah.
You know, I know that you're big into fitness. I know, but just I want to know the story, how we got here, what got you to audition for the Bachelorette, or how that even happened,
came about.
and, and then how that propelled everything else that you wanted to do and moving you forward in like what probably was already a vision in your head. You know?
Yeah. I think, originally from Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised.
Great
Shouts
city.
out to the Wire!
Yes, sir.
Hey, I grew up there. Yeah.
What a
shouts
city.
out. People you always ask, like, you watch The Wire? I was like, for what? I come from it. Like, literally, West
Right, I
Baltimore.
feel
Like,
you. Yeah.
not with Orchard Mews and Murphy Home projects, but like White Lock, North Avenue area, like just up the street. Like,
Yeah.
I'm from that neck of the woods. But anyway, Baltimore, Maryland. Basketball was my thing. Like,
Gotcha.
I wanted to go pro in ball.
And we were just saying this because you're so fucking tall.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
You might not see it on camera. This dude's tall.
Yeah. We were just talking about, like, I had a conversation with my agent about, like, well, I'm not booking, like, print jobs, like, for running, or
Yeah.
it's like, oh, well, sample sizes are 10 and height is usually like 5'10", 5'11". I'm like, makes sense. Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, man. So born and raised, basketball was my favorite sport, and I wanted to go pro in ball. That was my life. I gave everything to basketball. It was like my girlfriend. It was my everything. It actually kept me busy. It got me friends. Kept me out of trouble. I wasn't a trouble kid. I always did well in school, but I was always a leader amongst all my friends. Life happens. You go to school. Then I went to junior college. I played basketball for 2 years, Howard Community in Columbia, Maryland. That was good. And then I transferred to a 4-year. I went to Hampton University in VA. Had a lot of fun there. I was a walk-on for like a month, and then it was too many politics. I'm like, man, I got 80 credits. I don't got no scholarship. I'm good.
Like, I'm out.
So I started getting involved with, like, student leadership program. Became a student leader. I had my own men's group called Hampton Men, Brothers Within Hampton Men, and I played intramural basketball. And my team won probably like 2 of the 4 times that we competed in championships, right?
That's right.
If I'm correct. And I also was a host of a radio show. So I really got busy, like, after basketball and after, like, not playing and kind of killing that identity of being a ball player and like, I want to go pro. I really got involved in, like, entertaining people. And when I went in for the show host, co-host as a radio show, I wanted to be a producer or someone to just help out. They like, we think you'd be a great co-host. I'm like, me? Like, I play ball and go to school. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so, I did my last semester there, 21 credits, graduated. Boom. Shouts out to Barack Obama. He spoke at my graduation.
Oh, shit. That's
It was
awesome.
amazing, 2010. And I booked a one-way flight, a month after graduation, June 12th, to be exact, 2 days ago. 13 years in LA.
Wow.
And I had $1,000 in my name, and I left Baltimore, bro, and I never looked back. And so this journey here was a journey. And then, like, I think my 7th year out here, I got some momentum from the show, The Bachelorette. A good friend of mine's from Baltimore, Aisha Pinky Cole. She's CEO and founder of Slutty Vegan.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay,
She
word.
really from the city. Like, you know what I mean? She went to City College High School with me in Baltimore. Then she transferred to another one. But when I first moved out here in 2010, I ran into her in, like, I used to call it the Key Club on Sunset where One Oak is now.
Yeah.
For R&B night. So I saw.
Oh, you remember the old school
Yeah,
LA.
yeah.
Okay.
So I met her there, and I was like, yo, what's up? What you doing here? She's like, I just moved. Like, take my number. Let's get up. Like, she was so proactive and, like, you should do central casting, background acting. And so I started doing background acting. She found me my first spot. I was paying like $500 a month from a guy for Craigslist named Mustafa. Like, bro, like, she was like my angel, bro. Like my sister, though. Like, my real sister. Like, she's really all her success makes sense. And so she was the front end of me going on TV. My first ever gig in LA, to be honest, I was a stand-in NBA player, Deron Williams at the time, for the Zach and Cody show. I was making $175 a day. That was my first gig, though.
That Disney money.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy.
But I went to sign up for Central Casting and do background, and they booked me as a stand-in. And then you fast forward 7 years later, she was the vessel. She had someone in Baltimore casting for guys in Baltimore. I happen to live in LA. Do you want to be the show The Bachelorette? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's see. Went on an interview. They pushed me forward. They liked me, and the rest is history. And that was 2017. It was about 6 years ago.
That's crazy.
And bro, like everything I wanted to do, mostly I've done. You know, as far as dreams, like writing books, having a podcast, traveling the world, being on TV, you know, ego stuff from the mic just went off.
Why don't I? Okay.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. You know, the ego thing as a man, like, you know, seeing all the girls and being on TV, like just having that type of like access and success and kind of like experiencing that. I've done it.
Yeah. I feel
And it was great. It was phenomenal. I think the most important thing for me was that I learned about life outside of myself, like in America, like how it is a divide in some parts.
I see what you're saying.
How people see you who don't know you, and then people who know you think they know you, and then have criticism, suggestions, judgment. And not only having success, but sustaining it and the struggles and the challenges that come with it. And yeah, man. And like, I think when we met at the Beverly Center a few weeks ago, I was telling you, I'm like, man, I'm going through it. You like, what? I'm like, man, I'm having an ego death.
Yeah.
Like really like detaching from my old self. Like, yeah, I wrote the books. Yeah, I got the podcast. Yes, I've been on TV. I've done a lot of amazing things, but that's not who I am anymore. I'm coming into a new self. They usually call it the dark night of the soul. It's like you just letting go of your old self and bring your most authentic self to the surface. And I feel like in those 9 years, I just put on a mask to kind of like save face and grace for myself and others because of fear.
Yeah.
Not being let down, not
being
being disappointed.
Float in different rooms
Yeah,
and not be
you know,
too vulnerable.
Yeah, adjust. Because that's what you program. I mean, I think the first transition when I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch when I came out here, I think it's 2012. You had to be clean shaven.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, Abercrombie was like clean shaven, no long hair. You know what I mean? If you ugly, you work in the back.
Yeah.
Like,
no, but it's true.
know,
Like,
it's
so
crazy.
subconsciously, I feel like that's when I adapted that paradigm of LA, Hollywood.
Yeah.
I have to look the part, to play the part, to be the part, which is great because if you're winning and you're successful, you don't think about it.
Oh, you just play it.
You play
just do it.
And then as you get older, you realize like, damn, I've really been hiding myself because I don't want people to see the true me.
Yeah.
The Baltimore E, right?
Yeah. No,
You see the LA E, the Hollywood E. Oh, he's always smiling. He's always positive. It's miracle season. Yeah, but everything ain't always positive. Every day is a miracle, but sometimes miracles are tough
Facts.
to come over. And you know, like today, like my dad got rushed to the hospital this morning. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, sorry to hear that.
So it's like, that's real. But it's when you say how my dad was like, it's different.
Yeah.
But that's not nothing I can just kind of walk over. But the old E, positive E, oh man, I'm good, bro.
Yeah. I think that's what's funny though. People take positivity and feel like it can only take one form.
Yeah.
Which I've never been a fan of that because I think if you're just lying or you're not being genuine about your positivity, then it's not doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like it's just like the tough conversations that, we never want to, in certain situations, we never want to have tough conversations. We gloss over them. But we have to in order to move forward.
Yes.
And
it's so important. I think this year alone has revealed to me a lot because I think the phase I was in, I just kept going, right?
Yeah.
Like in life. Because like I always tell my manager, I'm like, bro, like I've done Dancing with the Stars, I've done Family, I've done all this, but who cares? The thing is always what's next.
The relevance.
Them checks been spent.
Yep. Who you bruh?
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But people outside looking in, you doing, bro, you doing it. Like,
oh, you made it already.
Right. And it's like, nah, bro, this ain't what you think it is. You don't want my life like you think you do.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's bad. It's just different challenges that you can't see mentally, emotionally, spiritually. How
and wouldn't even know how to take, but I feel like the reason you know how to handle the challenges you have is because you've navigated this road.
Yeah.
It's like anything else. Like, we can all sprint, I run down the block. Cool.
Right.
nigga, can you run for the next 8 miles?
Yes.
Then can you run for more miles after that?
Yes.
You know, and everybody, it's, I won't even say like everybody's not built like that. I feel like that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't give themselves the time to learn how to become built like that.
And it's not their purpose. Like,
there you go, too.
God put it in my spirit to be who I am, to be the go-getter, to be the one. I'm willing to go for it. But like I said, of recently, like these last few months, I've never felt like, damn, I ain't got the motivation. I'm not with that positive shit. You know what I mean? Like in the way I was before.
Right.
But because it was coming from a false sense of security of protecting myself, where I didn't want people to feel or see my pain. I didn't want to feel and see it.
Right.
So I became this person. I'm gonna help everybody.
It's just a coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism. That's how I survive. And then I realized, like, my soul, forget the world, life. People say what triggered it. My soul won't even let me be that person no more. Like, it's on a soul level. Like, I'm spiritually inclined where I know, like, something ain't right. I got to get with the program. So now it's just more of coming more like transparent and authentic way. Not that I wasn't before. I was playing a role to fit the audience I thought I was serving.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I know the Will Smith effect. I see that. I played that role.
Yeah.
That slap was years of playing, and probably now still not really being himself on camera.
Yeah.
He's playing a character. He's playing a role, which I get. And shit, he's probably tired of being liked. You're a person, bro. You got to be human.
Yeah.
No one's judging you, but I feel like when we can just be more vulnerable and say, look, man, I'm not what you think I am. Right. Yeah, I'm positive, but I might hurt somebody. Because that's your shadow self.
Well, then also people come to you with a different level of respect too.
For sure.
And there's certain jokes people don't make when they know that you have that.
Yeah.
There's certain things that people don't do. There's certain ways people don't approach you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's one of the problems I know I have. Like a lot of times if people don't know me, I've been told like I can walk into a room and people will get this kind of like, they'll get a certain kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Or they'll get like but the vibe they'll get really is just me just being like, I guess, self-confident or just, you know, like trying to light up a room when I come in just for the simple fact of, hey, I'm going to be in good spirits, so anything that comes back at me ain't going to be some bullshit. But that can stop very quickly if you want to be that person who wants to throw some, then cool, I'll leave you alone. You have a nice day. On to the next person. You know, but everybody doesn't have that ability to, you know,
to code switch.
Yeah, to code switch and to turn it on or off.
I'm gonna give you something even deeper. Like my cousin said, listen, he said anybody and everybody can play dumb, but any and everybody can't play smart. He said you can do both. That's a gift.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? So I done been around wealthy, I done been around poor, I done been around rich, I done been around broke. So I get it. Like I can look at someone and see what's happening without judging them because I'm not trying to. I'm just holding space and so then for me, it's more like, I know the more I bring my full self to the surface, the more people I can help and heal, and the more I'm going to thrive in life.
And you'll be navigated to the people you're supposed to help. And the
Your
people
tribe
you're
will
supposed to
find you.
Yeah.
I put a video out, I think last week or the week before, and it goes, you know, there's people that know you, but they don't understand you. And then there's people that think they know you who don't understand you. But the people who don't know you will understand you, and those people are your tribe because they don't need to know you to understand you.
Right.
So we know a lot of people that we don't understand, or a lot of people know us and they think they understand us.
Yeah, but we know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and even it could be your partner. It can be your mom, your dad, your spouse. Because another thing is we might not even know who we are or understand who we are. So it goes so many ways, but I think for some time I wanted everybody to understand and like, and it's because of what I didn't get, and now I'm just like, whatever.
Well, you know, coming from being in this industry as long as I have, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I've had definitely like one of the deaths of my former self is The Wire.
Oh, really?
Before The Wire, if you
Talk
like you see anything, that was the kid on Jay Leno singing the songs. Everything was damn near Disney. Right. You know what I mean? Like it was a very polished, then prior to The Wire, I went down to Atlanta when I was signing Jermaine Dupri and stuff. And I was living down there with like him and Janet for like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
But I was only I was away from my parents. I was down there. Like basically it was boot camp for like learning how to be an artist, be cool,
Right.
you know what I mean? Be around things that adapt. And yeah, I was like bad and shit and got sent back home. But the kid who got sent back home had just for the last 2 years been like really like, I'm from Chicago, so that's one thing, but I'm from Chicago and my parents had me on TV. They made sure I was always busy. I was in music lessons, I was in piano lessons.
Oh, wow.
So I was never outside in Chicago. You know what I mean? So by the time I was 7, 8, I was doing things in the city and people knew because that was my parents' goal of doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm not just like you said, good kids, stay in school, all that kind of stuff. But the kid who got sent back though had been around, niggas for the last 2 years, weed smoking, having what I mean? Like, I wasn't weed smoking, but like just being around a world that my parents,
never
chance I was
condone,
ever, never. But that's the kid who walked into the audition. My parents never let me have braids.
Wow.
It wasn't allowed. I had an afro the whole time.
Wow.
The kid who came back from Atlanta had braids.
Right.
And it's literally that.
Interesting.
It's, you know what I mean? And that was since then, I was viewed differently even as an actor from the things I had done prior. Because had I not had that piece, the way people would always view me is like, oh, I would have had to keep running that gambit. The kid who's singing on the shows and doing the like real not slapstick, but really, really safe, really family, really
safe.
Yeah, really safe.
And that's what I played is safe because I can play both sides.
No, I understand.
I had a brand agent say, like, to be honest, we can put you anywhere and you're gonna do well. Mm-hmm. You're the crossover guy.
Exactly.
We can put you in the urban world and we can put you in a white world.
Exactly.
And so you don't think about it like that because you're like, oh, I mean, that's where I'm at. Like,
But I realized that too when I came out here. I came out here in 2009, and that was like, I flipped back to let's try to fit in every space world. Because that was, especially in the era that we came here, and that was the game that was being played.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you wanted to be on TV, if you wanted to get a national campaign, if you wanted to no, niggas don't have long hair. That's not what we're doing. In 2009 to what? You want to say 2013, 14? And even now, let's be real. Everybody got the same little off the top.
I just cut my hair like a year and a half ago. I had dreadlocks.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's funny you don't it's more doable now, or it's a terrible way of saying it. But it's
more accepted.
It's more accepted now. Yeah.
Because people are relating because, black is in. Black is making
it's popular.
People more money.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh, cool, go ahead, wear it.
Yeah.
Let's keep making the money, though. For us. You get what I mean?
The second it stops.
Right.
Then we might need y'all to shave again.
Yeah. So it's been a journey of just revelation and clarity and spiritual understanding and growth as a man and being more vulnerable with myself and just, it's okay. Like, it's okay to be not as happy today. Yeah. It's okay not to be ultra positive. Mm-hmm. It's okay if you're angry. Like, I was just talking to my mom and she's like, yeah, but you ain't gotta. I'm like, no, but I do. My feelings are valid. Meaning, because I'm the guy, I always take the high road, bro. I'm always the one sacrificing for everybody. I've done it my entire life. And I said, but that's the problem. What if I don't do that? Then people will have to deal with whatever comes with the other side. Not that it's negative. It's just a part of life.
Right.
The sun is not out all day. I got to be sunny all day for everybody because no. A little darkness will help.
Well, everybody and once again, everybody who's been respected throughout history and throughout time, there's been some darkness and there's been some light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And anybody who is all light all the time, they're a politician.
Yeah.
So
right.
in that case, unless you want to be a politician,
professional liars. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So if that's the case, then you should be able to have that that capacity to code switch and to change and know, because man, I know also growing up with it sounds like you have. What did your parents do?
So my mom was a single mom.
Okay,
like I really come from not that, but the circumstances of it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We wasn't poor. The circumstances around were. Yeah. My dad was in the streets, bro.
Got you.
So English drugs. Like I was raised by kingpins. So I come from that cloth of always was around money, whether clean or dirty money, right?
But
for the right reason. And so I took a different approach because I saw the consequences of what they did. I said, I'm gonna become that in a different way, even if it takes me longer. Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to end up, how those things turned out for most of the men in my family. Yeah. And my mom just always been a strong, independent, God-fearing woman who never needed anyone or never needed anybody. Mm-hmm. So I took on that. But then I never got the love from her when I was growing up like I wanted it. So I felt like she didn't love me. So then I took on this attitude of, I'm not going to let nobody love me. I'm going to love everybody. You get what I'm saying?
I see
So
what you're saying.
I became what I wanted for everybody. So I'm not allowing you to understand how I'm feeling. I'm good. I'm positive, right? And I realized, like, it was good. It ran its course, but it's not real.
You're the most positive friend I got, but I know nothing about you.
Right. I was that friend.
I see what you're saying.
And every time you needed something or you needed advice, you called me because I had the right perspective for whatever reason. And you trusted it, and I would give it. And I was driven. Like, I was reading books. I was always putting in work to be better than what I was, you know, but I just never really felt my real emotions because I was afraid of them. Because in that environment of Baltimore, you're self-destruct.
No,
so
100%.
I had a therapist tell me positivity was my coping mechanism and to protect me from danger. So I overly used it to protect myself. But she's like, it's okay now. You don't have to do that. You're not there anymore. I still kind of move, you know, brimlessly through it, not feeling like,
No, I feel
because of fear. They're not going to love me. They're not going to accept me. What if the worst can happen?
And
you know
what's the funniest part too? Because we all have those feelings, especially when you're in like the public light in a certain capacity. But it's so funny because you think of all these things. It's one of my favorite quotes from Flight Club. We buy things for people that we don't like.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? We buy things to impress the people we don't even like. And it's the same idea. It's how in the world are we trying so hard to not piss anybody off or to, you know, I want everybody to like me. I don't want, why do they have a problem? When most of the time, none of these people have put $1 in our pockets.
Right.
They're not there for us when we need them.
Yes.
And they only comment when there's something negative or something extremely positive.
Yeah.
Like, you know the difference when you post something because you're doing something and it's kind of a big deal, and then you see everybody show out.
Yeah.
It's almost like niggas coming to the party for it. They all showing out in the comments with the fire, man, good work. But then when you trying to build something and you post something, you know, you'd be lucky if you get a like.
Yeah, or it's like, yo, I got books out. Like, yo, get a book. You my man.
Right.
Still ain't got a book. But I got a few people in different part of the world that barely know me. They done bought my book. I known you for 10 years. Mm-hmm. So you really get to see who is who and what is what. And it just opened your mind and eyes like, what are we really doing life for? What is it really about? I ask my clients that. I had a client, multimillionaire, is very successful. He's 70 years old and he's been around the world. And I'm like, what is life about? You'd have been everywhere. You'd have been around billionaires. You'd have traveled. You'd have been on all types of planes. Like, what is life about? Mm-hmm. It can't just be about just working and paying bills and that's it. No. Because for me, it's like, maybe for some people, let me not say that.
But it's not. You create that.
You create that, right?
Yeah, it's like a rut.
It's a rut. And it's like when you get the thing, i.e. the job, the relationship, the partnership, the acting gig, the opportunity, and then it's like, it's great. But then when it's not there anymore, it's over. It's like, what was that all for? Experiences, of course, wisdom to grow in it and learn from it. But I was like, why was I so attached? And I always ask this question, how do you know what you want if you never had it? Right? Think about it.
That is very true.
You know, people want to be married, but you've never been married. You want kids, you never had kids. You want a lot of money and success, but you never had it. So who teaches us that?
Capitalism.
Yeah.
It's part of it. And I think just, for lack of a better term, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Because I see what you mean when you think about it. And that saying, the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it too. It's like, anything's got to be better than this shit, right? I think that's the thought process. Sure. It's if you're not extremely fulfilled or extremely happy, which also I think you have to be subjective and understand that no one's ever completely happy and no one's ever. So yes, if you're happier than you are sad, and if the things you're sad about aren't things you can control, that's one thing. But if they're things you can control, that puts that in another bracket. So yeah, that's a good question.
Here's the thing that happens is that, you know, people get married and then they're like, man, I'm never getting married again. Or people have kids and it's like, I ain't having no more kids, right? But before that, even me, I can't wait to whatever.
Yeah.
The anticipation, what did they say?
It's the journey.
The anticipation is better than the actual event. Like getting ready for the event, getting ready for the date, getting ready to go on TV.
Think how many times you have fun with your friends about to go to a party.
Yeah, pre-gaming.
And y'all have more fun pre-gaming than the actual event.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I say that to say is that go after your dreams, things you haven't experienced, get it. Have it, want it. But when you get it, it might be what you think it was or wasn't, but enjoy it. But I feel like there's levels to life, there's level to our souls, and there's levels to our evolution of where we want to go. It's all about who you are, and what you're here to do. Because some people's like, I'm good, bro. Give me a pound, give me some good food, give me a boat on a yacht, you know what I mean, on the water or something. I'm cool, bro.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah. I think it's also what I think is going back to what I said earlier too. Have you built up the stamina to even do something that long? I think that's one thing. And then two, what are your reasons for wanting it? Like, I can tell you, yes, fortunately, I've seen a lot of things which have allowed me to know, oh, I want this, I want that. Damn, people be doing this, I want that. I've seen some things I'm like, this is a little too much. I want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even though I've seen all those things over a course of time, I think it comes down to who you are.
Yeah.
Like, and who you want to be. Like, I want to live in a mansion and, you know, and possibly have a family and have all the things I've ever dreamed of. But it's not, that's not what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to like sitting in my fucking backyard looking at my koi pond and going, holy shit, like I did all this.
Yeah.
Dope. Like this is nothing than a bunch of small accomplishments put into. That's how I view even with money. It's like I only want to do shit I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's another issue. People, you know, I've been fortunate, but sometimes people go so hard at just trying to stack money or just trying to get money that they don't ever take a second to go, wait a minute, what do I love doing?
Yeah.
Now, how can I get money doing what I love doing? Because it's a longer road. It's a way longer process.
Yeah.
But you can't get caught up in the rat race of trying to, you know, oh man, well, he's driving this, so I got to catch up so I can do that and I can catch up. Because we all have a different avenue and a different purpose and a different life that will make us happy. Some niggas want to live in the hills, bro.
Yeah.
And then some niggas want to have a ton of land in Montana.
Right.
You know what I mean? And some niggas want the condo right on fucking Collins.
Yeah.
Like, and then some people want to live in fucking, you know, Antarctica, whatever the fuck. It's just there's so many different lives that you can live. Financial stability is necessary in all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
But you don't have to be unhappy to be financially stable.
That's a good one. I never heard that one.
You know,
and it's very simple.
Yeah, it's that.
But the way you said it was like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it just takes a little more digging. It takes a little more time. It takes a little more grit on your end.
Yeah, it takes energy.
It takes it. Yes,
and I think that's what people don't understand about a life of an entertainer, an athlete, people who probably get paid the most. You gotta have energy.
Yeah.
You gotta have energy to get on a flight. You gotta have energy to record and pre-record for shows. You have to have energy to create music. It's energy. Everything's energy. And I think for me in my life, I always had tons of energy.
Right.
Athlete, play ball, right? Trainer.
Keeps out.
Workout. But what I discovered is there was things in life I didn't have before and I wanted them. But my reason for wanting them is because I wanted to experience them and see the impact it had on me.
Right.
So whether it was a brand deal, a TV show, a car, a woman, whatever, I needed to experience that to know for me, nah, that's not it.
I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly
and
what
so
you mean.
now I can say, oh yeah, I did that. That was cool, but that don't really move my boat. That don't really fulfill me. This right here, genuine, real conversation, you can't buy this.
100%.
This is The Wire. 2. You get what I'm saying?
No, bro, I feel you because same thing. There's so many things I've done when I first moved out here, places I lived, people I moved around with, things. And literally, I had to see all of that to then go, oh man, this is great. So when I have the next thing that does X, Y, and Z and I'm moving around, I know what people I want to move around with and I know who I don't.
Yeah.
Like it's that simple. But if I never had it, I'd be chasing something. And it's, you know, like I said, it can be that gift and the curse. It can take you down if you're not careful.
Yeah.
But
And that's why I try to tell people, it's like the hardest thing to tell a person is not to do something you've done that you know ain't as fulfilling when they haven't done it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the experience to say, well, easy for you to say. It's like, one's like, oh, money's not everything. Like, of course she would say that. You got a lot of money, right? Or you're well off. So I always say, when you get to know yourself, you get to grow yourself. Mm-hmm. And then when you can grow, you'll understand what you need versus what you don't need and what you really want. And everybody upbringing is different. Like, I always tell people that I know with parents growing up with mom and dad, it makes a big difference. And then they're like, yeah, but it wasn't all this and that. It's like, I'm not saying it wasn't or it was. Right. I'm just saying just having two people in a household does something for a kid's or an individual's psyche and mind.
And you know, it's funny when we were talking about your upbringing, I was saying, even I think when you were saying, you were like, yeah, you weren't always given the same kind of love because, you know, your mom was focused, making sure everything was straight, everything was good. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, and also the fact that she's raising you kind of on her own, that also creates that, like, I can't baby him too much.
And that's what she told me. Mm-hmm. She said, I never wanted to baby you because a lot of the men in the family, to this day, older, are still living with their mom.
Yeah.
And she said, I didn't want that for you. I didn't want you to depend on me or a woman to take care of you. I intentionally did that so you could be stronger. And I told her, like, I even remember watching Tony Robbins' I'm Not Your Guru. Mm-hmm. And there's a segment in that documentary on Netflix. And there's a young girl that stands up. She said, I hate my dad. He's like, oh, you hate your dad? Okay, cool. What I want you to do, take out your phone and call your dad. And tell him all the things you hate about him. But then tell him about all those things you hate about him not being there with that made you, that you are happy about. So, bro, I started breaking down. I was crying.
Damn, that's crazy.
Like, whoa. I called my mom. Mom, I'm mad that you didn't. Bop, bop, boom, boom, boom. But guess what? You the real MVP because you made me strong. You made me independent. You made me have will and toughness. I love you. And then at that time, she had revealed to me that I had a twin at birth that didn't make it.
Oh, shit.
I was 25 at this time. And mind you, I was premature as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, damn. Look what a real vulnerable conversation lead to.
Right.
I was vulnerable with my mom. I was crying. She didn't know, but I got more information about how she raised me, what she went through. The doctor told her I wasn't going to make it. You know, when I was a baby, because my sister's we're a day and a year apart. Okay. My sister had her 1 year birthday. I was in a hospital with tubes in my face.
Wow.
So it's like, as a kid, that's why I want everyone listening. Like, you might be mad at your mom and your dad right now, or for what they didn't do, and I get it. Everybody's relationship is different. But when you sit down with your parents, really get the truth. Get the information on what they went through. Because I had misinformation, so I internalized what I didn't get because I wasn't aware or didn't know that, oh, you didn't love me, you didn't do. No, you did more than enough for me. You actually did a great job raising me. Mm-hmm. I just didn't feel like you cared because of what I was expecting from my mother. But I don't know what it's like to be a parent. Who am I to say that, right?
You're writing a novel in your head that isn't necessarily, but this is how you feel things are supposed to be.
Right.
At 10, which hasn't seen. Yeah, I know exactly.
And then the older I got, I'm like, wow, what did you go through? And I'm like, Mom, you went through that?
Yeah.
What?
How did you? Yeah.
I apologize. Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
No,
it's because it's like we put all this pressure on them being a certain way for our ego or our internal benefit, and we don't even know their circumstances or their impact.
First off, very few people will ever know their parents' real, true story, especially before phone. Like, we'll never really know.
Yeah.
Because I got old school parents, bro. Both of my parents are 67.
Oh, okay.
So, like, old school parents, so that's one thing I've realized. I'm like, okay, I may never know the full story.
Yeah.
But even the pieces I know, it's like the older I get, I'm like, damn, we don't look at it when we're kids. When I was born, my parents were 35.
Wow.
As a kid, though, it's like, you grown as hell. I don't understand why you just, whether it's quick to anger or why you always got to yell or why you got to do this, or because now that I'm 31 years old, I'm looking at shit like, oh, so I'm 4 years away from the man that he had to be.
Yeah.
I know how I think about shit.
Right,
I know how I move
right.
around now.
Right,
I know I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. It's a learning process, man.
My mom was 21 when she had me.
And
when I was young, I thought 21 was old.
That's
She's
my
a baby.
Point. she's learning. She's learning right with you, and she's just trying to do her best. But you can't know until you're old enough, and now that you've been 21, you go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I'd have been fucking this all up.
I didn't know nothing. I was in college, thought I was the man, drinking jungle juice. Like, let's get it.
That's what and even think about that. Like, it's so funny when you say shit like that, because you think about like what was ripped away even from like them.
Yeah.
Like when you have, whether it's a child or any responsibility that young, whether it's even raising yourself if your parents ain't around.
Yeah.
Which usually that's the part that leads to having kids young. And it's like, man, a lot of things get, that teenagers, or kids, even think of kids going to prom who are pregnant. Like, it takes a lot of shit away that a lot of kids take for granted.
For sure.
And in the long run that, but it makes them stronger. It makes them more aware of like what they need to do. When they make mistakes, it hurts twice as bad. So they really don't make them again if they're on the right path. It's tough. There's a lot of
and it's just like I always say, life be lifing, but you don't really know until you know. Mm-hmm. And I think as a man, I had to tell a friend a few days ago because it was on my spirit. I said, look, bro, we 35. I said, you have a lot of talent. You always been in the city. You do your thing. You make your money. You got your girl. I said, but you got raw talent. And I said, listen, just here, one or two things. Two things. Go after something that you love and care about that you could potentially fail just to say you did it because it's your passion and your dream, or have some kids. Because I feel like when we're so in control of our journey, which is great, I get it. But when you have something, like, and you got a gift, man, listen to me, people, man, go for it. Trust me, because listen, man, seeing my parents in their older age and seeing just people as they get older, gotta go for it. Like, I went for it and I'm still going for it. It's just it's a different process now. Mm-hmm. But
you made a pivot.
I made a pivot.
Which is never bad. That's just, you're taking all the things you learned from up to this pivot and then you're using them somewhere else, which means you're going to be that much better this time around than you were the first time.
Absolutely. And I'm telling, I was telling them, I'm like, take it or leave it, take it with a grain of salt. And I said, look, we got time, but do something, go for it. Mm-hmm. Take a risk on yourself just to see who you are, what you are. Now, I'm like, look, this is my opinion. You my boy, I love you. You done helped me, you done styled me for events and had me looking fly and telling me, like, watch, you wear these, you can never. I said, you done gave me game. You done got me more money just on giving me, swag from your styling expertise and everything else you do. So I'm telling you as a friend, bro, go for it. And I don't know what that looks like, but I also think more friends need to have those conversations instead of like, don't talk to her no more. Or, parents be tripping. Like, nah, man, let's pull the best out of each other.
But I think what you're saying is coming from a place of such emotional intelligence. Because I'm going to say, I agree. I say this to a lot of people sometimes. Even when I'm having discourse with certain people, it's like, why can't, like, hey, man, I'm just trying to, like, these are the things I see or I feel you can. But everyone, if you're not emotionally in tune with yourself enough to, like, you know what I mean, friends can't have those conversations because they're not open with one another. Yeah. In general, we play the game, we smoke these blunts, we drink a little bit, we talk some shit. We ain't going past that. Yeah. Because sometimes niggas also just don't want to know.
Right.
Fuck, I'm going to find out. Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but I know what you mean. Yeah. If we did have more of these conversations, it would put, like, why the fuck does David Goggins have to motivate you? Why can't it be your friend who hits the gym every, like, why must it be someone so out of our realm who motivates
we us? Here because we had a real conversation in the store. Mm-hmm. I knew you prior to that. We never really spoke. I mean, we talked, but we never got
but
that triggered this to happen. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think with real vulnerability and conversation, not only for each other, but the world. Someone's going to listen to this and be like, damn, like, I ain't know that all. You're right. I never thought about that.
It's a different perspective.
Yeah, because I feel like it's our duty because we've been in it and we evolved in our own way that discernment, information, we should pass it down to whoever or just put it out. Like, I don't know what it's like to be in front of Michael Jordan and doing a Nike basketball commercial, Gatorade. I don't know what that feel like. I don't know what it's like to be on, I don't know, with Jay Leno. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what it's like to be on set with The Wire for however seasons.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? And so that's respect. Like, and then I'm telling you now, I want to give you your flowers, bro. I'm proud of you. And I didn't even grow up with you or know you, but you did it.
Thank you, man.
Like, you deserve that, because I feel like, how much more does my boy got to accomplish for you to just say, bro, you did it, I'm proud of you. Thank you. And he got to go get a star on Hollywood to get that recognition.
You know what's funny? That's literally how I be feeling though. And you know, because you know the feeling. It's like, nah, bro, until that whole wall is just plaques. And until there's like lined in my house with movie. Yeah, no one says these
But you've been
things.
doing it since a kid, bro. Since a baby, bro.
Man.
Come on, man.
But guess what? But what have you
reps
done
and sets.
What have you done for us lately? But it's all good, because like I always say, when it's time for me to do them reps and do them sets, oh man, I'm gonna be so much stronger.
But you doing it now, and it's
just
like, I just feel like people get so caught up in what's pushed out now. We still got forever later if we choose to, depending on our health and how we think. But I just think, at least for brothers, like, we got to start giving each other our just due. Not even on no ego.
No,
shit.
I feel you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Just on, bro, I see you. Keep going.
And brother, back at you, man.
You feel what I'm saying?
Real,
because sometimes it does get hard, and you feel like everybody look up to you like, man, you got it, though. Like, just because I make it look easy doesn't mean it's not heavy. Like, you know.
I just don't complain about it.
Right. It's just, but we're human. You know, we might be superheroes to some people, but I just feel like as men, we got to stand on not only what we know, but we got to stand ahead of these conversations, because I feel like the world is becoming spiritual as well.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of men, even people in powerful positions, it don't mean anything no more. It's like, oh yeah, we got billionaires and the gazillionaires, but the culture is not changing.
Right.
It's still a paradigm of the same pattern. And I feel like as men, we're not becoming vulnerable in a way where we tap into our spiritual power. And I'm not even talking religion. I'm just talking about like,
just energies.
Yeah, energies being tapped into that entity and knowing like, you know what? Like, you know, a lot of people don't like Kanye West, and they have, you know, I get it. But I've seen where he's trying to make a difference.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He causes chaos in different ways, but at least he's trying. I think others are as well. We just don't see it. We don't have no leaders of today like we did back in the day. We don't have no
our
Malcolms.
Leaders are rappers.
Right.
And hoopers.
That's what I'm saying.
And don't get me wrong, respect to, you know, the ones who like LeBron's doing a damn good job of it. Like a guy like that, it's like Kobe did a damn good job of it. You know, we do have those people who are taking, you know, Jay-Z's doing a great job of it. They are taking it upon themselves. But even the fact that, like you said, I feel like people get confused in the fact of like, Jay-Z, you know, yes, he's a rapper, and he's also in a form, you know, an African-American leader. But then you want to bundle every rapper in with that, or you want to bundle every hooper in with that. And then we see what they also sell to us about our own people. Yeah. So then when you put these things together, this is one thing I always say. Now, they done made, you know, Magic Johnson posters. They done made Kobe Bryant posters. They done made Shaquille O'Neal posters. And now they're making LeBron James posters. But the Bus family don't own the shit the whole time. Yeah. Why the fuck we ain't got a poster of them? Because that's who I want to aim my kid to be. Right. And we don't know about them. We don't know. We don't know. I can't. Who owned the Bulls when Michael Jordan went there? Do you know his name? I forgot his name. Yeah, but Jerry Krause, I think. Yeah. Krause, well, Jerry Krause, he was, but I don't think he owned the Bulls.
Oh,
he
no,
was
he
just
did.
I remember. Yeah. But that's my point. And come on, bro. Like I'm saying that to say, and I know you know your ball. Right. This isn't the information that's just plastered everywhere for all of us. No. But you want to go be Allen Iverson. Yeah. Who owned the Sixers? Nah. Yeah. Go be AI. Right. And buy his shoes. And it's like respect. I'm glad that works out for young AIs in the world. I'm glad young brothers can make this money and do. But we do have to look at it. If every, you know, hooper in the NBA starts getting $200 million contracts, at this point, why aren't we trying to make our own little something within the, like, shit, at least Ice Cube did the big three. He's trying. Now, NBA is making sure that shit only gets but so far. Right. But he's trying. You know, we have the talent. So what's going on? Yeah, and it's like, what is it really about? What are we selling here? Right. Really? What are we really trying to do? How much more bags you're going to keep getting? How much more success? Like, real success is the people you bless.
You know, and like what you leave behind. And listen, this is my ideology and my opinion and how I see it. Like, everyone don't feel like that's their purpose. Like, granted, y'all been through enough, especially as celebrities, if you're famous and got money. But I look at it from a worldview, right? We need more men, right, to step up and say, listen, this is what it is. Not what's lit, what's fly, what's this. What's your prayer like, homie?
Yeah.
What's your routine like when you go through the worst? Like, what that look like? Unpack that. Or how do you love your woman? Like, you know, we ain't got to be inferior to be vulnerable and in love with our woman. Not that we are now, but I'm just saying, like, it's okay to be soft, bro. Like, you're not, the more you're like that, the more strong you are. You get what I'm saying? Imagine when you were a kid, I can't say you, just anyone out there listening, if you had your parents growing up and your mom, your dad, and they really loved you. Yeah. It was easy to be confident.
Not facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Reason I was able to do any of this shit.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So when you have someone constantly loving you and you're receiving it with no resistance, it's easy to be confident. But if you don't have that innately or naturally, you got to find your confidence.
Right.
So I found my confidence in helping people. And that was when my ego was lit. And I did really good at it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Until I couldn't do it no more. And I had to ask myself, if you can't help nobody or you're not making nobody happy, who are you?
What's your value? Yeah.
Wow, right? So it makes you think. And it's all good because it all comes from a different place. But as men, it's okay to get that. And most men know that. That's why they say when they get their wife, their life change.
Yeah. But you know what it is? It's like, as you know, it's a product of environment. Yeah. It's a product of, if I've never been loved properly, how do I show this to someone else? Yeah. You know, I don't even know how to teach you this if I haven't been taught it, you know? And it's a shame because, once again, going back to what are they selling us about ourselves? Yeah. And then when they're selling certain things, like, let's be real, everything you're saying right now, no one's ever sold that as cool. Right.
No one says read a book or open up a book or education.
Yeah, no one says, like, hey, looking at the gray areas in between the black and white, that's cool. No one ever said that. Yeah. They say choose a side. They say this is how, hey, well, this is what's cool. What in any neighborhood, certain things are cool. And as we know, black culture is pretty much cool everywhere. Yeah. So these are the things that you should be doing. This is what's cool, which then makes the woman that you like think, well, this is what I'm looking at because this is being pushed to me as what's cool. So then if you don't fit this, then you're not nigga, cool. You lame. Right. And it's a real trickle-down theory of, you know, changing the course of how, especially as minorities and as people, how we're supposed to, like, I always make a joke. I'm like, imagine if in the 1950s or 60s, you could go to like a record studio and be like, check this out. In like 60 years, this is what's going to be popping. Yeah. And then you put in all this music about black people killing each other. Wow, they would look at you like, you got to be fucking kidding me. First off, no woman's going to let you call her a bitch this many times. Second off, why are we calling only the black girls bitches? Third off, they'd be like, there's no way, get this shit out of here. And then Marvin would go back in there and say, what's going on?
Yeah. And that's the thing.
That shit's gone. That's what I mean. It's like, it's gone.
It's such a bad double standard when it comes to that. When I say double standard, it's not even man or woman. This is man and man, meaning as a man, you'll rap it, right? Mm-hmm. So you're rapping, you calling her cool. Mm. You ain't gonna let nobody call your daughter or your girl or your mother that.
Right.
But you'll do it.
But everybody wants hoes and the thoughts and but nobody wants their mother or their daughter to be a hoe or a thought.
So it's like it's reverse engineering of like it's like a mirror. Like we gotta look at what we putting out and what we getting back, and then we get upset when the results are the way they are. We're like, look what we putting out. Look how we talk to each other. Right. Look how we embody and embrace each other. You know, they say Black Lives Matter, but do they to us? And so it's, of course, there's systems in place. There's things in place that make us go against each other. Like I was watching yesterday. I was watching Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence do their weigh-in in L.A.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was watching it on Showtime. And the only thing that came to me was like two black men, successful, rich. And I'm like, yo, it make you remind you like it's happening all over again. Like, I don't want to say slavery, but I'm just like, we fighting each other.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it, but it's like, we're fighting each other. That's like you and I, we're fighting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's all good. We're going to make the money, but it's still subconsciously,
I know what you mean.
we're competing against each other.
Well, yeah, and that's how you keep it. That's what they, you know.
You know what I'm
that's
saying? It's
that's how
like,
you keep it.
damn.
Like,
It's a flipper, but we're going to give you all this money, though.
yeah.
I'm going to keep you in this bind.
But it's always a bind. If that's why you see certain African Americans who make, unless you have other than athletics, if you notice, there's in any field, there's only so many of us who make it all the way through the game.
Yeah.
Because not only is it rigged, there's also a lot of shit that,
Yeah.
there's games you gotta play. Are you willing to play them? If you're not, the line is around the world of niggas who would love to be where you are. So will you play these games? If you won't, okay, bye.
And I didn't even know those things exist until I started seeing things show up on my doorstep with people I knew. I'm like, oh, this is real. It's like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this happens? Yeah. No way. No. Yes way.
Mm-hmm.
You see that person over there? How long they been on TV? How you think that happened? I'm sure they talented. It's a lot of talented people now in this town. You sure?
A lot of talented people.
So I'm like, think about it. If there's a lot of talented people, attractive people that got it, what make you think certain people get picked? Or how do certain people,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's interesting. I never thought of it like
and
that.
And you got to think it's layered. It's like people like to say the whole Hollywood thing. Yeah, don't go out there, sell your soul.
Yeah.
That's a layered thing.
Yeah, that's
like it's so layered. Like first off, selling your soul starts at, fuck, I don't like any of these people. But whatever. I mean, he knows blah, 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 and she knows da, da, da.
Right.
So I'm going to go hang out. That's basically, that's not a big deal, right? Then it goes from that to, oh, okay, well, I'm blowing off like my other friends or other things that are important or my family necessarily to go chase this thing with these people and try to be around these people who they don't really fuck with me, but they let me be around. So so now you're lowering who you are and your status of who you feel you should be just to be around famous people. Then you go from that, and then God forbid if you're a young girl, then it turns into, oh, okay, well, okay, maybe it's just sex, like it's whatever, you know what I mean? Because this will open this door. Not saying it's only girls who are doing this, just saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that continues and continues and continues all the way until it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I don't talk about black people getting shot in the media. It's not a good press thing for me.
Interesting.
These are all levels to selling your soul. Now, what path you'll take, who knows? But these are all levels. It's, it's just like a white lie is still a lie.
Yeah, still a lie.
Now it might not be as bad as lying about murder, but you want to know something? Nigga, you ain't telling the truth.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important piece that people also have to look at because, people are quick to, oh, everyone's in the Illuminati and stuff. No, it can be as simple as you just trading out your morals.
Right.
You believing that, hey, how about this? You want to do a role, blah, blah, blah. The director's a Satanist. You believe in God. It's that simple.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Do you want to be the next star of the Avengers movie? Or do you want to do what you believe in?
Right.
Or do you want to be a person who's like, hey, man, I just keep it on. Hey, how you doing? And I hit fist bump and you're still, though.
Right. Because at the end of the day,
you know where you stand. And if you believe that what you believe is real, you know that the big guy wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
So what's more important to you?
Absolutely.
And everybody has a different. And everybody has a different thing.
And everyone's different, and I always try to tell myself like, I want to there's two scenarios. So the first scenario is judgment and observation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Observe, because it's easy to judge, right?
Yeah, very easy.
But I like to come from a place of observing what I'm seeing opposed to judging it because I don't know what that person got going on. I don't know what they've been through.
Right.
My judge, what I think and my opinion really don't matter. I'm just observing from what I think I see on like, okay, that's interesting. That makes sense. So it's good to observe, to know, to be aware, to kind of have discernment about what makes sense for you.
Exactly. Do I need to be in this environment or do I not?
Right.
Do I need to engage with this person or do I not? Whatever they got going on, I don't know the root of it, but am I even trying to figure that out?
Right. And then everybody has a different paradigm. And like, there's some people that live in the dark, meaning like they come with their dark energy all the time. Then there's some people that come with their light, like I've done for so years. I'm all with the positivity, where some people just more like the Mike Tyson, they more raw and real with it.
Right.
Like, what's up? And that's fine too. So it's all about where you are, where you at, but it's also about just knowing yourself and knowing your morals. And I guess, in life, you got to go through stuff to figure out, like, damn, I had to do that, or maybe I didn't. Or then it's kind of like taking a drug, and then you like, damn, this drug feels good. And then you keep taking it. And then when you stop taking it, you're like, damn, should I took all those drugs over the years?
Yeah.
But it worked. So were you wrong? That's where the question marks come in.
I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
Was
now?
I wrong, and this just set me to my next path?
Right.
Or
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Was I right and this set me to my next path, or was I wrong and now I fucked up?
Or is that even a right or wrong or good or bad? It's like we know what's righteous, what's not. Like, I would never do that. But some people agree that that's okay.
But once again, back to that gray area. And I think that's, I feel like, man, everything in our world, from our politics to just discourse between human beings would be better if people accepted or at least discussed more of the gray areas and things. It's on so many issues, on literally every issue, because there's, like you said, there is no wrong and other than certain obvious things. There's really no wrong and right in every situation. There's if you want to say there's wrong and right in every situation, you can look at anything great that happens for you. You stole it from someone else.
Yeah.
No, that's no.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not how that works. Some things are for you, some things are for me, some things are for that guy over there. Who knows? Yeah. But I don't think people pay attention to just how complex a lot of things in life are.
Yeah.
And they're not just as simple as, oh, well, you do this and you blah, 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 and everything works out. Like, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
We would like to make things simplified for ourselves, because let's also be real. As human beings, we're not the smartest in the world. You know what I mean?
Chat PGPT or whatever you call it. Like it's like
bodying us already.
55 IQ. God damn, AI. What are you trying to do?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like a lot of things are very complex.
Or attractive people. They got more opportunity than a person who's not as attractive, 100%. But they would never say that or think that, or maybe they do. But there's a difference. Height. Weight, age, and skin color.
And I think these are things too, like I said, gray areas. I get pissed off when I hear somebody who's just like, obviously who's like, oh, well, affirmative action is all bullshit. Like, no, my friend, it's not. But I can also see the gray areas, and if you didn't want to be a dickhead, where you could say, oh, well, how are these things being broken up? How are these things? It's same with height. I'm just trying to think of a better example. It's same with height, or same with like dimensions. It's like you said, attractive people might not want to say, oh yeah, well, I know, I get more drinks at the club. I know, I get they're not going to say these things, but at the same time, there's a nuanced thing. But I say, if you have that, sir, I should have something else to counteract that somehow.
Yeah, because I had a swim instructor years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and they had this thing. He was white, and it was like white privilege, right? And I was telling him, I said, there's also something called black privilege, but no one will never say that. You will never hear that. Right. I said, but guess what? Everybody has privilege. We just don't think about the things we're privileged in. So it's easy to point out what we're not getting and say, you're privileged.
Exactly.
So it's like, no, they're privileged in that area, but you're also privileged in that area. They don't have that, but you're not thinking about it from those lens because you have it.
Yeah.
It's easy to point out what you don't have.
They'll never say black privilege, but then they'll always go, man, they jump so high.
Yeah. So let me create a structure, a system where I can make money off of that energy or that height or that vertical. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we all have privilege. We just don't look at it from that lens because of what we told us, or what the world told us. So
even look at black families. Just look like that is a special thing in itself.
Yeah.
Like coming from a black family, like you already know, like the personalities and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's something that's why black church can't be recreated. You know what I mean? Like these are like little things that these are our black privileges. It's the shining things we have within a lot, sometimes a lot of darkness. But we have like even our friendships, like this is one thing I've always told my friends. It's like, you know how like the first thing we'll say about somebody, like even if say you didn't fuck with me, you're like, man, that nigga not real. He's just not he's just fake. He's not real.
And like, where does that come from?
We're one of the few, we're one of the few cultures that actually like gauges people in real. Wow. You'll never hear a white person be like, he's not real.
Wow. I've never thought of that. That's deep. Yeah,
because what's not real? Business.
Right.
So why the fuck?
This is illusion. We're living in the Matrix.
Yeah,
That's all made up.
Listen, we're friends. We're,
Right.
Fuck you, buddy. We'll play a little golf and then I'll talk shit about you when you leave. Like, it's not real. Whereas we hold that, which naively so, which hurts us sometimes in the long run. But it's like we hold being real and being like, I'm a real nigga. We hold that above damn near everything else.
Yeah.
We'll hold that above being a father at times.
Yeah. Or being honest and being vulnerable.
I'm
a real nigga. I don't never do that, bro. You crazy. Like, I'm never stooping that low. And I was like, what's low?
But I'm a real nigga.
Right.
Like,
Right.
It's something that we gotta, it's like I said, it's work to be done, man. And
I feel like the work is spiritual, man. My dad will always say, you cannot solve a physical problem with a physical outcome. A physical problem needs a spiritual solution.
I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? Whether it's prayer, whether it's, meditating. I don't know. It's just, I feel like that's what the world is lacking, is spiritual currency within all of us. White, black, Asian, Hispanic, spiritual currency.
And I think we aren't exchanging as much because of, and not to blame it on this, but like social media doesn't help that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because it's made it, at least there was a time.
It's a lot of vanity.
That's exactly the word I was about to say. Because I was going to say, think of it in a time when, there was a time when how we ran into each other at Zara, that was the only way for people to connect.
Yeah.
So of course we would end up having this conversation if we ran into each other, had a conversation, and okay, man, let's get back up together, But in today's time, it's everybody's like, they just want the social currency. They don't really want any kind of spiritual currency, or they don't even care to like, hey, how you doing? Like you said, I don't give a fuck about what's going on in your life. I don't give a fuck about where your head's at. I'm just, what can I use you for?
Right.
Or, all right, yeah, whatever. Like, I hate it because then it breeds, a lot of people think they have a lot of friends. But it's just really a lot of people who are just in a network that they are in.
Yeah,
opposed to any real.
And the thing is, you really
connection.
see not even who your friends are. Let's take that out of because we don't really know who our friends really are. We know who love us and who really rock with us.
Yeah.
But what I'm discovering is that you don't know who people really are until something within you changes for the good, for the better. That's i.e. success. You get in a relationship, you make more money, you move.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've never had that thing for such a long time with these people that you call your friends, not that they're going to look at you funny, but you never know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't have the same access they once did. And I realized that twice in my life. Like, oh.
Because they think you've changed. That's the first thing they say. But it's also, people never want to see you doing better than them.
Yeah.
People want to see you doing good, but just not better than me.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, and depending on where you're putting yourself and how much work you're putting in, people can surpass you pretty quickly, but I don't think everyone knows how to digest that. And once again, emotional intelligence, I don't think you know how to talk about it.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing. So between spiritual currency and EQ is what I realize most people lack, not because they want to, we're just not programmed and conditioned to know ourselves. Mm-hmm. So therefore, unconsciously, we fail ourselves. We like, even with terminology in Black cultures, how we talk to each other and how we think, with all the cursing and stuff about women and I get it. Like, I'm not perfect, but it's like an unconscious thing. We just do it because it's there and it's normal and it's.
And every other race looks at it as pure entertainment. They look at it like the NBA.
Yeah.
That's how they look
at it. Shits and giggles.
Yeah, it's like, I know that if you're my 7 or 10-year-old white kid wants to wear a do-rag and be in the house out in the suburbs, he'll be fine. He'll outgrow this and he'll move on and he'll do something else with his life.
And he won't have to worry about it.
And he won't have to worry about it.
Because
it's not his reality.
It's not his reality.
It's just entertainment.
It's entertainment.
It's really entertaining and it's cool while he's young. Whereas with us, it's like, damn, no, man, that nigga came from right down the street.
Yeah, I really got to put my do-rag on when I get on this flight. I want my haircut to last for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
All our reality. Yeah. LeBron don't do that shit just because he want to look cool. That's not what's going on.
Yeah.
But we don't have that, differentiation of like knowing and seeing other things. Just like, like you're talking about, everyone just assumes they got to be on. At least you knew about production and stuff when you were in college. Like most people just in our world assume you got to be on TV. Yeah. I got to be the one on TV, or I got to be the one, who's making the music, or I got to be, or there's no.
Or everybody want to be the guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I have to be the guy, or there's no other way to make a living in this. And it's like, nah, man. There's so many people around, not only around the guy, but that show that the guy is on. There's a lot of people who work there, and that network that the guy's show is on. There's a lot of people who work there, and the people doing the music for the show, the guys. There are so many avenues, but once again, I think it's information. I think we need to take a better job we need to do a better job of taking the tools that are given to us and not just wasting them on fucking, half naked pictures and fucking, drama and gossip shit. And we need to actually learn and take a little bit more time to understand, like,
and really realize, what are we really after? Like, I was thinking a while ago, I was like, man, who really started the thing when you put the money to your, like, who started that? Where did that come from?
Right.
Who started drug dealing? Like, who idea was it? I almost sell dope, and I think we're gonna make a lot of money though. Like, what was the first person in America who started that and that became a thing? And black people got rich off of it.
Whoever started drug dealing, I know for a fact it wasn't us.
Right.
We learned the game from some white guy, and then it was a real smart brother who was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
My calculations are correct. This job is some bullshit.
Things, where did they come from? They come from somewhere. You don't just do something because, like, oh, this is me. No, you learn that, how you dress, how you talk, how you, whatever. Like, some people have innate gifts where they just have it. But it comes from somewhere.
You studied somewhere. Your environment. It's definitely studied.
Kobe became Jordan because he saw him. That was his blueprint.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, like, it's hard to tell somebody what not to do when all they can do is what they've been seeing their most life. Like, my blueprint was, drug dealer. Mm-hmm. There was no athletes in my family. There was no people who were about health and wellness in my family. And it's not knocking it. It's just, I was supposed to be the D-boy because it was so obvious. Like, why not?
How many of us have lawyers and doctors and in our families? And God forbid, even next door. Like, even think about that. And there's a lot of neighborhoods where it's just people of other races. They, something happens in their house. There's a doctor who lives 2 doors down. Like, it's a whole different bubble. Like, that's what I mean. It's just, in order to do something different, you have to and not stay in your routine. You have to intentionally go out of your way to do something different.
And that's what I did. Man.
And how many people are doing that? And that's why nothing but respect for that, because it's the hardest thing to do, especially when you don't know how it's going to pan out and you don't know anybody else to talk to who did something different.
Right. And that's what became a struggle as I got older. It's like, if everyone's coming to me, of course I go to God, but damn, how do I be vulnerable? Everyone's vulnerable with me, but I don't know how to be vulnerable with no one.
Yeah.
How crazy, oxymoron. But I just think in general, I do feel like some of us, all of us are chosen, but I think certain paths are really chosen for us to go on. And I feel like I've been chosen since the day I was born, Mm-hmm. My mom always say, you would have had a sister. And I feel like she lives within you. That's why your energy is so amplified at times. And we all have a story. My whole thing is like, I just want to live my dream and my purpose.
I feel you.
I didn't have the fun. When I say fun, the fun that I think I should have as a man and as a person. I want a different type of fun. Like you said, I want to go in the backyard and just, look at my kids run around and eat some good food and meditate and not even be on my phone.
Exactly.
Or watch TV.
You know why? Because everything and everybody you want is already there.
Right.
And that's what I mean. It's that pulling of, oh man, I need to make sure I talk to, no. When I'm there.
Unless that's deep that you said that, because I got a epiphany when you said that. You said, like, let me do this. And the best things in life come to you when you're not antsy about them or you're not looking for them. Mm-hmm. My biggest opportunities come when I'm not looking for them, when I'm not thinking about them.
Mine come when I'm just doing what the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
If I know that, hey, this is gonna push me forward, this is something that I think will better me, and I know that it's coming from a good place, as long as I do it, something will come out of it. I don't know what will come out of it. It might not be as quick as I want it to come. You know what I mean? It might be just like, that's it. But it always, and this is after doing this shit for like 28 years. Yeah. It always, bro, leads to something else.
Yeah, they say your dreams make room for you. And when you're not in your dream, you can feel it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying the accolade or the success of the dream. I'm just saying in the process of the dream.
Even in the process of doing this. And
right.
This interview. You know, this is something I've wanted to build. It's something that I've seen blueprints of it. And I said, damn, this is cool. This is and I like talking to people. Mm-hmm. Man, I can talk to my friends. I can talk to people who actually have done things, who also, like you were saying, who you can connect on certain parts of being in this industry or doing whatever. And then I was like, and the people who aren't in this industry, even better. I'll learn some shit. But at the end of the day, I know I'm creating content. I'm doing something I thoroughly enjoy.
Right.
I don't know anything I'd rather have been doing for this last hour.
Yeah.
But, I feel like with each person I talk to, I understand more about them, and I learn a little bit more about myself.
And you can connect the dots. Mm-hmm. You get it now, and it's not like, oh, you're not who I really thought you were, but you was somewhat, but now I get you. Mm-hmm. You make sense. Yeah. Respect. You know what I mean?
It's so funny because that's literally how my brain works too.
Right.
It makes sense now.
Because it's like when you put the pieces together, you're like, because anybody that's talented or in a space or in a room of whatever, they ain't just get there by luck. Like it's something about them that... Like, oh, little Pump and little Uzi, those guys are weird. Like, but there's something about them that makes them that. They're not just there by accident.
And sometimes, like, I always say the people who are incredible at social media are usually, like, you remember in school, there's always that, like, Aggie kid who's just all over the place, but he just had no vessel for where to put it because we didn't have cell phones like that. Now that kid is, like, killing Mr. Beast. You know what I mean?
Mr. Beast, right,
because there's outlets for it. You know, there is a place to, there was kids making up sketches in their living room doing blah, blah, blah when they were like 16. But there was the 80s. Yeah. No one gave a fuck.
Don't color outside the lines. That's wrong. No, this is art. Basquiat. Picasso.
But, it takes not a special person to do it, but a special person to believe that they can do it. Yeah, and then to see it through. And then to stand on what the fuck they did.
And the thing is about believing, it's like you never really see it. You just know it. Like everything I ever did, I never really had to see it. I was just like, yo, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
I never I don't know. I mean, stuff I kind of question, of course, but stuff when I think about it, coming to LA, I didn't need no belief to see that I was going there. I know, motherfucker, I'm coming. Mm-hmm. I've been here 13 years. You know what I mean? So it was...
I'm coming and I'm staying.
And it wasn't no... Right, and I'm staying. It wasn't no risk. It was a decision.
Yes.
So it's interesting.
But it's how you framed it in your head, too.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of people come out here and they're like, in the back of their mind, and sometimes not even that far back, they're like, oh, I'll come back. I know I'll be home at least 3-4 times for holidays. And it's like, oh, so you're not really...
You thinking about your escape.
Yeah, you really got your plan B ready. Yeah. Like, I think everyone should have plan B skills. But if you put the plan together, you're more likely to fall back on it. But you should have plan B skills. Yeah. So that means that if they ever need to be thrown into action, I'll do this shit too, just in case. You know what I mean? But the plan shouldn't be sketched out. Because you don't even know the plan.
Right. You don't even know the plan. Bro, I did not know I would be in LA on TV. I came here to go to grad school. Like, come on, bro.
Facts.
So it's like, we don't, like, basically what I was getting to is that I don't even think if I unpacked it, like, because you said something.
Sorry.
No, it was great. This is great because this is how the universe works. It brings me back to we're not in control.
Right.
So, I did talk about it. We think if we do, we'll get. And it's like, you'll do all that and you'll miss out on this because you wasn't present with what your gift was trying to tell you. Your gift was like, no, just stay home and record your podcast and play on the piano and just chill out. Yeah, but what's the but? And then you go do the but thing that you think you should do. And then you're missing out on this big thing over here. And like, here's the thing. I'm so inquisitive where I'll test it out. I'll get my reptilian brain to go to work, survival instincts. Oh, let me go do this. Because it's easy, right?
Right.
And I'm like, my spirit like, you shouldn't be doing that. And then I'm like, but no, sit still. And then boom, here comes something even bigger over here. Because I didn't go do that. That was easy. That would make me feel comfortable in whatever space that was.
Yeah.
We got to trust. And have faith, yourself. Bro. Yeah.
Oh, man, thank you.
Yes,
this is incredible. Eric Bigger, thank you. This is an incredible conversation, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming through.
I appreciate it. We got to do it again, man.
Man, let me know. And I'm down to come on yours whenever.
You got to come on.
Let's do it, brother.
My guy.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Love.
Peace.